I've been crying out for help with ACS, who I have a case with, and they keep coming up with allegations with no show cause of evidence to convict me on a crime of neglect charge that I did not commit, and all I did was ask for help, to seek help for my child, because all she was getting is therapy. And I'm reaching out right now to see, just to know that you know, ACS is dragging and abusing not only my name, but a lot of people's names, in tormenting these families. We vote these leaders into this community, and our voices need to be heard, and we need the support we need to help us seek justice and allow ACS to be accountable for their behavior or what they're doing to the parents, children, grandparents, and foster parents. That's what I got to say.
My name is Angeline Montalban. My son, Toussaint Edwards, was taken from me on September 27th, 2013. I'm here
Hold down. Right here.
Okay, my name is Angeline Montalban. I am here because my son, Toussaint Edwards, was taken away from me on September 27, 2013. I am a victim of domestic violence. I've been going to court on and off since September to try to get my son. Nothing is happening. The reason why my son was taken from me is because I refused to cooperate with ACS. They wanted me to say things that weren't so. They wanted me to believe things that were so. I strongly believe the system is very corrupt. There's no accountability. There's nobody there to help the parents. They have a one-size-fits-all model for all the parents, especially the Black and Hispanic parents. My son came from a good home, and when we do go to court, the ACS caseworkers was questioned a couple of times about the conditions of the home. She was asked about the condition of the child, and she said there was obviously no problem in the home. If there was no problem in the home, and I don't understand why my son was taken from me. I strongly believe that because I am a strong parent, I'm very vocal, I know my rights, and I think ACS very much are against parents who speak out about their rights. I've been fighting since then. I've been firing my lawyers, fired 2 lawyers so far, because I feel like the entire system is corrupt. Nobody's really there to help the parents. The lawyers are not there to help their parents. Lawyers are getting paid. Everybody's getting paid. The family court is getting paid. ACS is getting paid. Everybody, lawmakers, they're all getting paid except the parents. The parents are not benefiting from the system, especially the child. My child, Toussaint Edwards, he came from a very good home. He had 2 parents who strongly believed in him, parents who gave him a good home. The problem was the issue between parents, not the way the child was being taken care of. So I'm here not only to advocate for my own child, which is my purpose, but I also want to come here and advocate for other parents too, so we could bring awareness to the abuse in the system and the idea of no accountability in the system. Thank you.
Good evening, I'm Helen Jones, and I'm here fighting for my 3 granddaughters, Tasha Jones, Khadijah Jones, Monica Jones, and I don't know where my grandchildren is. Shelton in Arms, and Edmund and Goo. They says the children is up for adoption. So I've been to court every year, every month, filed my petition. Everyone was dismissed, and I'm still not allowed to see them or talk to them. I want all 3 of those daughters. And none of my elected officials didn't do anything for me. Keith Wright didn't do one thing. Bill Perkins didn't do one thing. And none of my lawyers didn't do anything either. They said the Jews wouldn't let them in on the case. And I am terribly upset. And every lawyer in the neighborhood belongs to what is it? I know. Every lawyer in the neighborhood says they can't take the case because the case belongs to legal aid. How could every lawyer belongs to legal aid and do nothing for people in there? We all pay legal aid. I say family code, we do not need legal aid lawyers, we do not need, and contract agency, we do not need. Thank you. Young man?
Hi, my name is Dewan Collins, and I'm the proud father of Isaiah Taiwan Fisher Collins. My name is Dewan Collins, and I'm a proud parent, father of Isaiah Taiwan Fisher Collins. My son has been in the foster care system, particularly Grand Wyndham, for 6.5 years with a non-relative foster mom. It all started back in November 29, 2007, when my mom, my son's paternal grandmother, was caring for my son because I was incarcerated. I was recently released July 1st, 2013. I've been fighting the system for 6.5 years to have my son placed with his own paternal grandmother in Chicago through kinship care. According to ACS, Don Forrester, she removed my son under the guise of an emergency removal. I fought hand, tooth, and nail to find out what happened during the removal proceedings because I was not present, nor was my attorney present. It was an ex parte communication that went on. Next thing I know, my son was placed in a non-relative foster home when his grandmother was there, though they told her to wait outside. I got a copy of the transcripts. I made several copies of those, and there is no evidence in the record that shows what the emergency was. The removal order that was made by Judge Ruiz stated that I was not present and that I was not given notice of the removal proceedings, and she failed to state what the emergency was. That was an appealable order back on November 30th, 2007. And my attorney at that time was Donald Rada, and I never received a copy of that appealable order while I was in prison, which violates my right to access to court. It only came years later when I made a demand for disclosure to the court that I found out there was an appealable order then. Me and my attorney had a discrepancy because I kept asking questions, legal questions, for which she failed to answer, and he got himself relieved off the case. Then I get a second attorney, Vivian Hewitt, and my problem with her was that she was not effective enough in the courts to represent and protect my rights. There was extended placement orders that were made, and I was never given any copies of any of those extended placement orders extending my son's placement in a non-relative foster home. When I put in a motion to have her relieved with cause, she misled me to believe that the case was supposed to go in front of a Judge McElrath, when in fact it was going in front of Judge Michael Ambrosio. Okay, so when I went before that judge, he says he didn't have a copy of my motion, so therefore he's relieving her without cause. In 2011, the referee Yeskovich made a decision to place my son in a pre-adoptive home. Okay, but when he did so, he relied on the agency's insufficient permanency report, which was in violation of Family Court Act 1089 Subdivision C. There's been a recent decision that I permanently neglected my son by failing to provide an adoptive resource by Judge Michael Ambrosio of the Brooklyn Family Court, and yet he failed to hold the agency accountable for not providing me reasonable efforts while I was in prison, while quoting the Court of Appeals case matter of Sheila G. It is now on for a best interest hearing, and my attorney that I presently have now is not representing me to have the agency's case dismissed against me. Her name is Mindy Gress. Thank you, and I'm just asking for support for my elected officials and from federal and state lawmakers to intervene, because there is no accountability that has been going on with ACS, the judges in Brooklyn Family Court, the referees in Brooklyn Family Court, the attorneys. They're all one concerted effort to deprive people of their due process rights. I speak for not only myself as a black father, but for all fathers who have ever had an issue with the foster care system, the family courts. Thank you.
Hi,
my name is Pam Gray, and my daughter was in several group homes. She was in Mercy first, she was in a group home upstate, now she's in New York Ground, and I'm fighting for her rights because she's pregnant. But when I go to that Staten Island group home, they always say, oh, well, they want her to be with my mother and all that, but then it's still up in the air because she's awarded to the state, so I'm fighting to get her out. I'm hoping in 2 years she'll get out of that, you know, because the caseworkers don't answer me, and I'm tired, and I pray on it. So I'm hoping my daughter will get out and eventually could be on her own. Amen.
Hi, my name is Odell Macmillan, and I was a foster kid at a foster mom at JCCA, and I turned in my 10-day notice, and on that day that my foster kid, one of my foster kid and her aunt and her mother and one of the social worker at JCCA made false charges against me, and they told me that when they come back, they investigate my home for 60 days, and they said when they come back, I will get more kids. But it came back unfound, and they still shut my house down. We do not recommend. Now I need help. I never had no complaint, no situation of nothing. I want to bring aware to what's going on in the agency. The agency is broken down. We need help, our foster moms, our adopted foster moms, not just for me, but for all foster moms. And I've been fighting this case for 3 years, and I still don't have no foster kid in my house. All they tell me is that Miss Macmillan, they don't tell me nothing. They don't tell me nothing. They drag me through the mud. They did all kinds of things about me. They said they put bad stuff in my record that no agency would take me as a foster mom.